What's up, guys? It's Ole, and today I'm going to be bringing you a 4th Gen Wi-Fi battle. Now, Gen 4 for me was where I started Wi-Fi battling. It's where I found out about, like, IVs and, breeding and stuff like that. I mean, I knew about EV training in, like, Gen 3. However, I never knew there was, like, a competitive scene or anything like that in Pokemon until Gen 4. So it has a lot of memories for me. It's where I started off. I made a lot of friends throughout this generation. Like, with this generation, I don't know, I just enjoyed it the most. The community was, in my opinion, the best at that point because, I mean, end of Gen 5, the community was awful. In that case, I just have the best memories of the generation. And then, I mean, Gen 6 is great, but you guys know my situation with Gen 6. I really can't battle much in it. So anyway, I found this battle on my computer against a friend of mine. We had this battle like a month ago, and I'm like, oh my god, I actually have a Gen 4 battle to upload, which made me really happy. I had like 2 battles, but they were just really bad against people who didn't know what Gen 4 was, but they wanted to like jump on the whole, let's give this gen a sending off hype, even though they barely even knew what it was. So in either case, let's start off with the battle. I start off with Metagross's Ether Noir. I'm going to switch out right away to go into Celebi because I don't want to take the Earthquake from Dust Noir. And then he goes for Shadow Punch as a T-Wave because I actually didn't expect Shadow Punch because usually Dust Noirs in Gen 4, they carried Ice Punch or Fire Punch and then Earthquake or and then Will-O-Wisp and some other support move like Pain Split, but he actually has Trick Room. In either case, I switch out because I don't want to take another Shadow Punch. And I go for Surf, and it does so much damage. I'm actually surprised as to how much it did. It's also, what I love about Gen 4 is, like, Pokemon like Dust Noir were in OU. Like, you don't see Dust Noir much anymore, and it was a great Pokemon back then. But anyways, he's gonna switch out, not wanting to take another Surf, but I just stay in, trying to do a lot of damage to it, because I was really surprised as to how much it did. So he goes into Breloom. It doesn't take the hit very well. I was also surprised as to how much that Surf did as well. Like, Vaporeon has a very decent special attack stat, but I didn't know it would just be able to dish out so much damage. However, I don't want to take a Seed Bomb, so I'm going to switch out. However, I guess he doesn't want to take a Surf or an Ice Beam, so he's going to switch out. So I'm really thinking that he's either choiced or he doesn't have anything for my Vaporeon. He probably has like the Sub Punch set with Focus Punch and Mach Punch. Because he's not choiced because he has the Toxic Orb. However, he brings in Bronzong. Maybe he predicted my Celebi switch in was a good time when I was doing it. Switch into Celebi because I can take any. However, into Bronzong, and then I go into Machamp as he explodes. I likely assume that Celebi is a really good to his team, so I'm going to try to keep it around as much as possible. So I go back into Celebi as he goes back into Breloom, and that works out perfectly because now I believe I go for T-Wave, thinking I could T-Wave anything, or I believe I actually go for HP Fire, or it's either Fire or Ice, actually. I don't remember what hidden power this has, but it's Fire or Ice just to see how much damage it would do to the Breloom. He always switches out and goes back into a Dust Noir because he knows he can take a hit, and here I'm gonna actually stay in to gouge how much Giga Drain is going to do to him. And, I mean, it honestly does a very disappointing amount of damage. Like, I know he has Shadow Punch, but I just feel like it didn't do much damage to me in the first time he did it. It did maybe like a third. A little more than a third, but, I mean, Giga Drain would get me back to about a quarter, and then with leftovers, I would be in a very good situation. However, he switches out after setting up Trick Room, and I don't understand why. I guess it's to set up for his Heatran Sweep or something like that, because I go for Giga Drain. Obviously, I do not want to stay in a Heatran. I actually didn't think of it during the battle, because if he has Trick Room and he brings in a Heatran, I should obviously assume this is a Specs Heatran, but I really didn't think about it in the battle. So I go into Vaporeon, and he goes for Flamethrower, so I'm like, okay, Flamethrower, I mean, Fire Blast is usually the move to use. And then I see just how much damage that Flamethrower did, so I automatically assumed, and I'm pretty sure I know that this is just a modest spec set. There's no way it's anything else other than that. He switches out into Breloom as I predict the switch because I knew the Trick Room was up. And also, I would live the Flamethrower, so the Surf would almost probably take out the Heatran. So I predict the switch to his Breloom because I knew that he was going to switch out, not wanting to stay in. And it worked out perfectly because I just one-shot this Breloom, and now it isn't a threat anymore. So, obviously that really just told me that Heatran is choice specs due to the damage and then him switching out. Because if he had, like, Earth Power, he'd probably be able to take me out. So, he goes into Dust Noir, and he goes for the Earthquake. So he actually does have it, so I was surprised as to why he didn't go for it. And I stay in going for the Surf, and then I was surprised he outsped me, but that's because he the Trick Room was up, and I totally like forgot about that. Or in other case, I'd stay in to go for the surf just to think I could probably take this Dusknoir out. I was actually surprised that I didn't, considering how much damage I did. But then I saw that the Trick Room dimensions wore out, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sack this Vaporeon and just go for the surf. And due to the fact that nobody switched in, sorry for getting tongue-tied. Due to the fact that nobody switched in, I knew that his team just could not take a Vaporeon hit. Although you'll see later that, I mean, he really should have switched in, but I guess he wanted to let his Dusknoir die. He goes into Heatran again, and I go into my lead Metagross. Then I automatically have to switch out because I do not want it to die to a Flamethrower. He goes for Flamethrower. I knew he's going to do that, so I go into Flygon to resist the hit. I mean, I assumed that I could take it well enough as to where it won't kill me. And actually, I thought it wouldn't do like half, but it does half damage. I was so surprised as to how much damage that did. So that really just cemented the fact that that thing was spexed. So I knew he's gonna switch out because he definitely does not want to take the Earthquake. Although it was a ballsy move, it was the right move because I go for U-turn. He switches Vaporeon, which is great because this Celebi just checks it. And now he's gonna go back into Heatran, and I'm like, okay, so his team is a Heatran, a Vaporeon, and pretty much something that I haven't seen before, but from what I've seen, like, it doesn't want to take damage from any of my big hitters, so I knew it wasn't a wall, and I felt like it wasn't the bulkiest of Pokemon. So I do paralyze this Heatran, knowing that now, when it's paralyzed, Metagross will be able to outspeed this thing in Earthquake to kill it. And so far, what I see is that Metagross can really do a huge number against his team. Because, I mean, Earthquake's gonna take out his Heatran, Explosion can take out Vaporeon, so, like, right now I'm just trying to, going for Giga Drains to let this Celebi die off, because even though the Celebi can take out a Vaporeon, I could, like, my Metagross would just explode. However, I didn't consider the fact that Protect is a thing on Vaporeon, and every Vaporeon runs it. I just totally disregarded that fact. However, I'm just trying to let my Celebi die. He gets Parahaxed a bunch of times, but it really doesn't matter. So now I have a safe switch in either to my Flygon or my Metagross, and I still have a Gengar in the back, which is why I felt like Celebi was kind of surplus to requirements, because what I could do against the Vaporeon, even if he protects, I could just Thunderbolt and kill it. So I go for the Earthquake. He actually lets it die, which totally surprised me, because I really thought he was going to bring in Vaporeon to take the hit decently well. So now he's going to bring into Electivire, and I'm like, okay, so that's why he hasn't been bringing this thing in, because everything that my team has, like, Electivire can't do much to my team, and my team does a lot of damage to it. So I was really happy when I saw this, because both Flygon and Metagross could easily take out this Electivire. He goes for Earthquake. I knew I could live. This is obviously an Esper Belt set, or maybe even Choice Band, but Metagross is bulky as hell. Like, I knew I could live an Earthquake. It's non-stab. Metagross has ridiculous defense stat, and I just knew I could live. I go for Earthquake. I knew I would be able to take it out because Metagross is just such a beast. It's so unfortunate that in Gen 6 it's actually UU. This thing is such a fucking beast in Gen 3 and 4. Like, now I explode and just take out the Vaporeon. I really expected the Protect. It's just I wasn't afraid of it because I had Gengar with Thunderbolt, and that Gengar I believe was actually spexed. I really want to say it was spexed, so it could have totally wiped the floor with that Vaporeon. So that game would have been mine anyway. I was surprised he didn't Protect, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Metagross just sweeped the rest of his team. Even though it's not a sweeper, it was such a powerhouse, and since Explosion was ridiculously OP in Gen 4, which I love. Like, I don't understand why they nerfed Explosion so much. So anyway, guys, that was the battle. I enjoyed the battle. It was a great battle. This is against my friend Ryan, and it was a great battle. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, I'm really upset that Gen 4 is going to be gone forever, because sometimes my friends and I, like, in real life, my friends and I, we Gen 4 battled together, and we sometimes had a game or two. So, so it's just really upsetting that, you know, this is gone. I mean, we can, like, Union Link battle, because, I mean, I don't know, maybe I can still bring, like, a Gen 4 battle or two with a close friend of mine, but I really don't know as to how that would happen. Anyway, guys, I want to, like, you know, give this generation a sending off. It was my favorite, you know, meta. It was my favorite Wi-Fi battling gen. It was balanced. In my opinion, it was the most balanced. Of the Gen 6 is actually very, in my opinion, Gen 6 is very good right now. However, it's just that I can't bring the content, and I don't have as much time to do it. So anyway, guys, like, you know, this gen was a huge, like, I don't want to say it was like a huge thingy part of my life, but it was a big part. Like it has a lot of memories. I made a lot of friends, and yeah, guys. So, anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna miss this heavily, and yeah, guys. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this battle. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Bye, Gen 4. We're gonna miss you.